All right, Shalom. Giving our praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule and teach well, as well as the elder bishops and the rest of the brothers. Shalom to the 144,000, the rest of the hopeful elect. This is another edition of GMS News and Prophecy. And this here is an article from Watcher.guru. All right. And it says, Brics. Analyst predicts U.S. dollar crash similar to Roman Empire's end. So we have another correlation between the ancient Roman Empire and the modern day United States and its comparisons to the Roman Empire, right, to each other, okay? Now, Brics is an alliance between Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and now other countries as well that are a military and economic alliance between these countries that are the new rising power in the East, as opposed to U.S., NATO, and other countries in the West. All right. And yes, the Roman Empire is extended through the U.S. or America. All right. America is a part of the extension of the Roman Empire. All right. Because of biblical prophecy, the same countries that made up the Roman Empire over 2,000 years ago are the same countries that make up the North Atlantic Treaty Organization today, including the U.S. So I'm going to get into this article. It says, leading financial analysts are warning that the U.S. supremacy has reached a tipping point and its dominance cannot move further up. Yeah, it's over for this place. It's over for America. It's over for the Western hegemony. It's over for the ruling power of, like I mentioned, the Western world, okay? Especially economically. It says Brics and other developing countries are racing ahead as their economy becomes robust and stronger. The GDP of Brics nations is growing tremendously and challenging the U.S. dollar at the global level. Oh, also read, Brics, Nigeria plans to sell oil in local currency, not U.S. dollar. So that's another major blow to the American economy and why we're going to constantly see inflation and prices of things go up. It's just a part of the process of this society going down. All right? Look at all these ads, Temu ads. Anyway, it says Brics is convincing developing nations in Asia, Africa, and South America to ditch the U.S. dollar and use local currencies. Read here to know how many sectors in the U.S. will be affected if Brics ditches the dollar for trade, and major countries are ditching the dollar for trade. Brics, U.S. dollar dominance could face Roman Empire's fate. Financial analyst and the author of the best-selling book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, compared the U.S. dollar's end to the Roman Empire. He explained that the Roman Empire supremacy ended after their bankers debased their currency to pay soldiers, gladiators, and bills. Brics is now looking to uproot the U.S. dominance and replace it with a new world order. So that's history. And it's important that you understand history in order to get an understanding
90
of what's happening today. All right? So you can just do your research, just Google on why the Roman Empire fell, and you're going to see all articles, all different kinds of books on what happened. And it's the same thing that's happening here in the U.S. Okay? So I'm going to get a scripture starting with Jeremiah 51:8. It says Babylon, which Babylon is America. All right, it's a code word for America, but it's written from the perspective of the prophets and the scriptures. Really, truly, the real name for America is really Babylon. All right, if you want to be true. It says Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain? And America's pains are, I'll say in this context, the economic turmoil is happening. Okay? That's the pain. And the balm would be these different stimulus packages, raising the debt ceilings, things that would try to continue this place on every year. It says, if so, she may be healed. Verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. So there is no extending the rulership of this place or the going on of this place. All right. It says, forsake her and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. So another, and that's another thing too, America's not just Rome or a part of Rome, it's also known as Babylon. Okay? Verse 10, the Lord Yahweh hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord Yahweh, our God. And that's why you see different so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans teaching that we are the Israelites on the street corners all throughout America and other places in the world, because we are declaring the works of our God, our power, who everyone thinks they believe in from the Bible. Our God is Yahweh, and the Son's name is not Jesus Christ, but Yahweh Shai. We're declaring the righteousness of his works, and that our prison, which is America, is going down. Babylon is falling. Okay? Now, when you go into Daniel, the 2nd chapter, it talks about the prophecy that Nebuchadnezzar had about this statue. And those that know the Bible should know this story. And no other people, no other counselors or advisors could break down the prophecy or the meaning of a Nebuchadnezzar's dream. But Daniel, the Israelite prophet, did. All right, and he broke down each part of the statue. And it says here, Daniel 2:40, and it is under Rome. And the 4th kingdom shall be as strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise. That's the power, the military might of the Roman Empire, which continues on with America's military might today. All right, same beast, same kingdom. It says, verse 41, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. This is why you see NATO. This is why you see the UK. This is why you see America. Okay? It says, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And they were even further divided through the Brexit, where you had Britain leave the EU. All right? Right, so you got the European Union, NATO, okay, America. All these major Western nations make up this 4th beast today, this 4th kingdom. Verse 42, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And it's strong militarily, but it's weak economically. Okay? And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. So these, and when you look at the hell show that is going on amongst the different governments in the UK and NATO and the EU and America. All right, they're not cleaving one to another. Everything is all jumbled up, and the power is not as strong as it was. I'll say starting after World War II. Okay, even into the 80s and 90s, in the early 2000s, they're not as strong as they once were. They're not as united as they once were. So that's this prophecy being fulfilled even today. Okay? Now the article mentioned, now that's the correlation with Rome. Okay? The fourth beast. And what America's doing, we're seeing a lot more millions of dollars going out to gladiators, a.k.a. celebrity athletes, whether they're boxers, whether they're football players, whether they're basketball players, baseball players, the soldiers. We're seeing a major extension of soldiers being sent out into different war fronts, Iraq, Afghanistan, Africa, okay? And bills. Now, bills is what? The American bills, that debt ceiling crisis that happens every year. You know, every 8-9 months, every fiscal year, there's always some kind of issue with the debt ceiling needing to be raised. This happened in the Roman Empire, and it's happening in America today. All right, along with what's going on with NATO. There was a point within the last decade, you had it to where Germany and other countries were asked to put more, I'll say during Trump's presidency, you know, they were asked to put more money to help out other countries, France as well. So this white man's world is all messed up, man. So now it says, back in the article, Kiyosaki stressed that the U.S. is experiencing a similar decline where the officials are printing money to pay for its wars. The Roman Empire ended in the same way, with massive gladiators entertaining chubby Romans. The obese rate in America is through the roof, while their bankers debased their currency to pay soldiers and bills, he said. Sending all that money to Ukraine. The American people are hot about that. It says the author urged investors to accumulate Bitcoin, gold, and silver as the prices cannot be tampered with. History repeats because stupidity repeats. Don't be stupid. Bet instead on gold, silver, and Bitcoin, he said. The U.S. dollar in could come through the hands of Brics, and they're pressing all the right buttons. So that's it on that. Right? And this is official tweet here. End of the American Empire. And this is just another reason why World War III must happen. Because whenever a country is facing major economic turmoil, war is the answer, especially here in the U.S. The elites, the bankers, go to war. Just like the famous quote, all wars are bankers' wars because it generates revenue. You know? Look these history points up. All right? So now I'm going to go back into the scriptures. And I'm going to end it. Now dealing with, he's speaking about gold, silver, and all of that. Listen, man, these countries are not willing to deal with the American dollar anymore. Matter of fact, let me get the book of Obadiah first. This is Obadiah chapter 1. It's only one chapter, but verse 7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. So everyone that was confederate of this place, all right, are now going to start to leave this place. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They eat thy bread, another word for money, have laid a wound under thee. the hyperinflation, the stop doing trade with dollars and using their own currency. That's the wound. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? So Edom, Esau, which is known today as the so-called white race, which you have Israelites that look like so-called white people, all right? But the Edomites, Esau, which are still around today, their kingdom is going down. Verse 9, and thy mighty men, O Teman, Teman was once a city in the land of Edom, it's just another name, shall be dismayed. So the military men, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. So Esau has to be destroyed. His power structure, okay, his military, everything has to go. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, which are black people, the real Jews, okay? So-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans are all of the tribes of Israel. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, right? So all the stuff you hear about what happened is Black History Month, right? All the anger that the so-called white men poured upon so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans on this side of the world. The Lord, God himself, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, he says that they have to be slaughtered. Shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. I didn't say it, the Lord said it. Thus said the Lord, right? So this place has to go, all right? But you have these countries that are in other nations that are willing to trade in their own currency and not deal with the U.S. dollar. So I'm going to get one more scripture. This is Isaiah chapter 13 and 17. Babylon will fall to the Medes. The Medes is another name for the Russians. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. So the Medes, the Russians, will be against Babylon the Great, America, which shall not regard silver. And as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So there won't be no economic bridging between the West and the East in these days. Russia's already building its own coalition, its own alliance of nations. And eventually, once this war of Armageddon starts, that's going to be the physical destruction. That will be the end of the U.S. Verse 18, their bows, which are nuclear missiles, hypersonic missiles, just like Vladimir Putin told Tucker Carlson in that interview that he did. Okay, he said they have these hypersonic missiles. Well, these are the bows. It says their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces. So they will be used. This is all prophecy. And they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. So once these missiles are launched from one side of the world to the other, that's going to be the end of this place. There's not going to be any remorse for kids, old people, or the young, men or women. All right? This is destruction from the Lord. Verse 19, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms. Right, America is supposed to be the greatest nation ever. You know all the nicknames and phrases they have for this place. The beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So just like Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed by fire from heaven, from the skies, that's how America will be destroyed soon by these missiles. And what's also known as so-called UFOs, which has already been confirmed by senators that they know that they are the angels of the Lord. So the angels, which are watching this place, will also shoot their lasers, and they're going to have fire coming from their vehicles to destroy Babylon the Great. Meanwhile, Yahweh Shai is going to come in his chariot, mountain-sized chariot, to deliver the elect. Verse 20, because this is what you American people got to understand too. All right? It shall never be inhabited, So there will never again be anyone walking the soil of America. It's going to be just like they show you in the 60s version of the Planet of the Apes. And Charlton Heston's character, what's his name, Bright Eyes, he walked the desert and he found that last remnant of the Statue of Liberty and said, "Oh, you blew it up. God damn it, you blew it up." Well, that's what's going to happen. You nations are going to destroy America, and that's going to be it. It was known as the Forbidden Zone. Well, America's going to be a big desert, the Forbidden Zone, because it will never be inhabited. It says, "Neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there," so there won't be any foreigners coming here doing trade and setting up businesses. "Neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures." This place is going to be a place for desert animals to dwell. "An owl shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces." Yeah, well, you've seen houses in Malibu and Miami and all these penthouses. These missiles, that nuclear fire, that destruction is going to heat this place up and melt everything, turn this land into a desert, and the only creatures that are going to be here, the only beings, are going to be animals, where your house once stood. It says, "And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai." All right? So when you read articles like this, you got to understand these people know, because they follow the trends, they're analysts, they give their insight, they know history. And then what we do is the men, the Lord, the prophets, we break these things down through the Holy Bible to give you a full, true understanding spiritually of what's going on. Thus saith the Lord. And so with